I learned the Japanese kanji in less than a year, and in this video, I will be showing you exactly how I did it. So, without further ado, let's get right into the video. So you're probably watching anime at one point and thought, how great would it be if I can watch anime without any subtitles, or to visit Japan and be able to read and understand the entirety of the language? So you decide that it's finally time to learn some Japanese. It may seem pretty difficult to learn at first, since there are 3 different writing systems in the language, or simply how different Japanese is from English. But if you got the willpower to get it done, then Japanese shouldn't be a piece of cake. So without giving it a second thought, you decide to just jump right into it. I mean, if you think about it, you already know some basic Japanese words like or Anyways, you have to hit the books and start writing like a madman, writing and memorizing all the hiragana and katakana while learning the basic grammar structures and words, and putting your Japanese skills to the test. So after all that grinding, you decide it's finally time to learn the hardest part of it all, learning the kanji. So if you haven't learned any kanji, then you'll probably notice that this type of writing is unrecognizable. So since the Japanese uses hiragana, katakana, and kanji, and combine them all at the same time, it's very important to learn and understand this reading. So in other words, if you want to read fluently, then you must learn kanji. But how many kanji are there? Yeah, so there's quite a bit, and on top of that, kanji has multiple readings. But don't worry, because although there are over 50,000 kanji, there are only about 2,000 that you have to learn. So even if people learn kanji from 1st grade to the end of middle school, I can tell you how I learned kanji in just 10 months. Although it may seem like a lot of work and effort, I can guarantee you that you can learn kanji in just a few months. So if you put the hours in daily, you'll be able to eventually tell yourself that you learned all the kanji. So let me just say that this isn't easy, but if you're serious into learning Japanese, then it's 100% worth it. So let's get right to it. So I didn't use Duolingo, Genki, or Rosetta Stone. Instead, I used what's called Remembering the Kanji, which basically is a complete course on how to not forget the kanji. So one of the first things the book tells you is that you can learn kanji in just 4 to 6 weeks. So although it did take me 10 months to learn, you can definitely do it way faster if you wanted to. Since many people struggle to retain the kanji that they've learned, it may feel impossible to memorize, but in this book, it resolves that exact problem by using memorization technique. So instead of writing down kanji over and over again hoping that it would eventually stick, this book uses the usage of stories and imagination.
What do you mean by that?
So I'm gonna try to simplify this part so then it won't be too confusing. So the trick to learning kanji is to make keywords and use them as mnemonics for future use. So for example, let's use the kanji for mouth. This kanji looks and resembles a mouth with its 4 corners. And this kanji means rice field. So an easy way to remember this is to imagine a bird's eye view of a rice field which is divided into 4 parts. Finally, this kanji means eye. If you turn around the kanji, then you can imagine the outer areas as being the white area of the eye and the middle as the pupil. So if we take what we learned, we can look at this kanji and recognize that this contains the kanji for mouth with a line going across it. Since this kanji means end, we can take this line and imagine it as a stick which is being used to pry open a mouth. So to add a story to this, you can say that a mom is trying to open a baby's mouth to put something in. So you keep doing this process to all the kanji that you've learned so that you can create imaginative memory, giving stories in which you can recall on instead of writing it down purely from memory. So the book itself helps you with these stories and makes the process much easier than it may seem. Instead of using flashcards as a study tool to review what I've learned, I use a program called Anki, which uses spaced repetition to avoid unnecessary review, in which you can review a piece of information with increasing intervals each time. So in other words, Anki simplifies the reviewing process and makes it much more effective. The tip that I would recommend is that once you learn all the kanji, read a whole ton of Japanese such as books, mangas, or subtitles while watching an anime or show. When doing this, your brain will over time familiarize itself with the kanji, making reading a natural process just like reading English. So it's just like what Stephen Krashen said, people acquiring a second language have the best chance for success through reading. So yeah, that is how I learned kanji in less than a year. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing. I do plan on making quality content videos very soon, so please look forward to that. So with that being said, thanks for watching until the end.